For my last piece of audience feedback, I decided to screen my first draft of my short film with a live audience, with a target audience from around 13 and upwards, including teachers, just to get a wide variety of general feedback. This proved very successful. It was very interesting to see the kind of feedback I got in relation to gender, age, and other deciding factors. Some feedback was helpful, others I dismissed because they didn't go with the overall consensus of the audience and were more specific to that person. So I kind of took the majority ideas and ran with those. I will show you an introduction I have and some of the different audience feedback I got. Along with this, I decided to create along with a Survey Monkey, I decided to create another hard copy of a survey, which I handed out in my live feedback and got the pupils to fill them out, the questionnaire, just to get an extra layer of feedback to make sure that the direction I was choosing to go in was one which reflected the interests of my target audience. Enjoy. Is that recording? My brief was a short film. It's about a girl who has schizophrenia, mental illness, and she finds kind of like the cure to her illness by being in a pool. I wrote the script, I wrote the music, I played the piano to it, and I directed it. This is my first draft, so if you have any critique, let me know in the handout.
Who are you showing it to?
My target audience, well, I'm showing it to age from 14 up until 18 here, as well as teachers, just to get a wide demographic and see the general feedback. Decent? They random, they have a. Did I give you one? You can just, yeah. You guys can like share it. Do you guys have pens and pencils? Alright. Thanks, Liam. Appreciate it.
One point when you're filming the girl, the water behind her is grey.
I appreciate it.
At one point, towards the end, when her mom comes out, when you film in front of her, the pool behind her is grey, not blue. So maybe change that.
Picks on random. What was your opinion of it?
It was gripping. It was like intense. So really got you like wanting to.
Light's not as good. Okay, perfect.
Like
Very
watch
cool.
it like. It was cool. It was good.
You liked it?
Yeah.
How about yours?
I think it was really intriguing. Like, at first it was a bit confusing, but then, like, it made sense.
Do you think it's like one of those films, like, the more you watch it, the more you'll pick up on it, like
Yeah.
Inception?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I wouldn't compare my film to Inception. So, what did you guys take from it, and did you understand the storyline?
I think at the beginning, it was, like, really clear that she had, like, something wrong with her, because of, like, the distortion in the filming. But then, like, halfway through, I got a bit confused.
Yeah, I just don't understand the ending, why she walked out or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like what will happen to her. Yeah. What happened to her.
What do you think of the main character, Scarlett?
Don't know, she was a good actor.
Actress,
I believe
yeah.
she had it. Like she actually had the disease. It was well filmed for her as well. Just thought she was quite good.
When the studio disappears and the soundtrack starts, it starts like all of a sudden. Maybe you should fade it in.
Oh, your auidence.
You guys like the fact that it was all black and white and then the pool was in blue? You guys liked that?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Like her whole world was grey, and then the only place where she could find like help was in the pool, so that's why it was colourful. Because like
Yeah.
it helped her.
Exactly. The survey you see here was given by a 14-year-old girl, someone who just reaches my age bracket for my target audience. She answered the second question and the fourth question. The question of what do you think of the main character, central character Scarlett, she said she was believable as a character, which is very encouraging feedback. And on the question of does the soundtrack complement the visuals on screen, she says yes, and she likes how it overrules the voices when she's in the pool. This was very encouraging feedback to know that the two things which I was focusing on, the soundtrack and the central character was resonating with my target audience. My second piece of feedback I received was from a 15-year-old boy, someone within my age bracket. With the question, what were your initial reactions having watched it, he said that he liked it and it effectively shows illness. I was not sure if that was to do with representation or just a general showing of it. What do you think of the main character of Scarlett? They liked how it was relatable, and which is very good because I try to construct her as a character as someone that my target audience could relate to. And it's interesting because she's a girl and yet he related to her, which is a very interesting piece of feedback received. My third question was, does the font at the beginning correlate to the film's theme? I got a yes response, simple and to the point. My last question is, does the soundtrack complement the visuals on screen? And the answer is yes, it made it more. And I can't read the last part, so I'm going to just say that it says yes. This is also very encouraging feedback, knowing that my target audience liked my film, and I was especially pleased with the fact that the character that I constructed, Scarlett, was a relatable character. This was something really important to me because I wanted young people to be able to relate to the troubles she faces as a young teenager living in the world we live in, where self-medicating and medicating is such a common place for mental illness. This is really important to me. My last questionnaire I received was from a 16-year-old girl currently in education at my school, where I'm at. She answered all 4 questions. The first one was, what were your initial reactions having watched the film? She said that at first she found it confusing, but then it made sense. I acted upon this and tried, and this is where I added the extra shots of her having her psychedelic episode, just to make it really clear what's happening and that her mental illness is something which happens throughout. The second question is, what do you think of the main character of Scarlett? Once again, I got believable and likable, which is something I'm very pleased with because she's the main protagonist in my short film, and therefore it's essential that she's liked and people can relate to her. The third question I received was, does the font at the beginning of the film mute correlate to the film's themes? And I just got a simple and sweet answer, yes. And the last question I got is, does the soundtrack complement the visuals on screen? And once again, just got a sweet answer, short and precise, which says yes. This was once again encouraging feedback, and I acted upon the first answer, which said that it was a little bit confusing, because having had audience feedback, this was a small but general theme I got across. So I just made sure when I was editing, I made everything that much more clearer and made sure that people understood what was happening. That being said, my film, just like Inception, is a film where the more you watch it, the more you pick up on it and understand it. It's an open narrative, so you take from it what you will. And this is the kind of film I created because I didn't want to create a film whereby you're given everything and you're told everything throughout the whole film. There's little to the imagination. So overall, I was very happy with my audience feedback and feedback I received and acted upon.